Friends, Romans, countrymen, everything else, and whatevers. It is a Thursday night. I am a screaming wyvern, and today I want to take you back to the time-lost era of 2002, minutes before the dawn of man, or the man of dawn. I don't know, one or the other. Maybe both. I remember watching TV with my kid. What was she, 3 at the time? And there was an advertisement for a special showing that was coming up of the new Transformers series. Now, at that point, Beast Wars had come and gone, several years gone. It had been replaced in the 2000s by robots in disguise, now referred to usually as car robots, which was okay, but it was very blatantly a dub. And okay, so car robots, you basically had this line of Autobots, which were really cool, well designed. They basically took all of the ideas that they had in making the Beast Wars characters, toys, and they put them into making these fantastic Autobots. So there was like the Autobot brothers, there was Optimus Prime. It was a fire truck in his incarnation. Okay, apparently this is going to be the solo role-playing and choking with ScreamingWyvern. But except for Megatron, everything else was peg warmers. The one exception to that is they did have a they had a Scourge. I don't remember. I think he was a black repaint of an Optimus from Generation 2 or something. Because they also had the Combaticons, although they gave it a different name just to be creative. So it was kind of a mess, at least as far as toy buying was concerned. They still got my money. No worries there. They did eventually bring in Ultra Magnus, who combined with Optimus, and that was fantastic. And they brought in Fortress Maximus, and I missed the chance to, get a new copy of him. I say new copy. I didn't have a copy of all the Fortress Maximus. No, that was Fortress Maximus. And the great thing about that was that an unreleased or barely released toy from Beast Machines could be used as Fortress Maximus's headmaster. I don't know why. I just report the news. I don't make it. So the point is that Transformers up to this point have been a little bit disappointing as far as the entertainment is concerned. So here we have this brand new series. It was CGI on, traditional animation. But the really important thing about it was that it came out and it was definitely inspired by the height of the Pokemon craze. Because this little guy here, this is what we call a mini-con. If I can't remember, I literally just saw where his port is. Okay. there is a little port right here, which is specifically designed for connecting to larger transformers who have similar ports. So, like, I'll go ahead and take this guy. This is another series, but the important thing is he's got the minicon. So yeah, they would go ahead and they would just click on, as it were. Some of the big robots had special features which could be unlocked if you attach the minicon to it. But the point is, as far as the story was concerned, the entire idea was that the Autobots and the Decepticons were searching through the tall grass to get their hands on the minicons, and once as soon as they had them, they didn't have, they didn't make the minicons go ahead and fight each other, so I guess that was nice. But yeah, basically they would stick it onto any port that they had free, and the minicon would enhance their powers. So when I found out that ianthedad.itch.io, everything is spelled the way you'd expect it, but I'll have it up on screen soon enough. Once I learned that Ian the Dad had created a tribute to that particular series, that particular time, that particular everything, I was overjoyed. It's one of the quickest purchases that I've ever made, because yeah, it just, yeah, this is what I've always wanted. Let me just go ahead and make sure that that is on the screen. Or will be on the screen. Yeah. It's not the best place for it. Okay. Yes. So just got a note from Ian thanking me for checking it out. So you are very welcome, and I hope you like what I've done with the place. So where was I? So yeah, Transformers, which has been, I was born in 74, 84 when the Transformers came out. That was, I was 10. That became a huge part of my life. Pokemon craze comes out. They come out with the idea of the Pokemon collection Transformers. Kind of a match made in heaven. So yesterday I'm going through for gameplay purposes, I needed 10 minicons. And I found more than 10 minicons because I have a great collection of minicons. I've got at least 2 versions of the sword, several individual packages of little teams. Got a little plane here. They even tried to come back to the minicon model later. I also have a dragon, but I wasn't able to find him, so that was glorious. I love my beasties. I can't lie. I was horrified to discover I have no Armada bulks. I have several Energon toys. I have a couple of what was the last one? Cyberverse? No, that's the modern one. Whatever the third one with the galaxy keys was. But I don't have any full-size toys from Armada. Apparently, I just, was collecting the hell of minicons and didn't think that was necessary. So, the point is that, fortunately, I was able to find this gangly monstrosity. He will be taking the place of a proper Armada bulk tonight. We'll get into exactly what that means, because although he was part of the movie line, he was also part of the classics line where they brought back the minicons. And as you can tell from his shoulders, he's an incredibly confused robot. So, that's enough setup. That's all the setup that you probably need. Let me go ahead and get a drink. So, enough about me. Let's go ahead and bring Ian to the forefront where they deserve to be. Okay, so, I've got part of a PDF here, but let's go ahead and quickly go through the storyline that we're working with here. And as excited as I am from a cartoon perspective, I will admit I take my Transformers pretty darn seriously. So don't worry, this will not be a humorous episode. If you were hoping that this would be a humorous episode, I've got bad news for you, and I'm putting that out there right now. So the main overview is that an ancient technology known as upgrade bots has been discovered buried in random locations across the planet. Choose a side, choose a bot, collect upgrade bots, and fight to rule the planet and end the war between good and evil. To play, you only need a D20 and something to write with. This is a chronicling rules light solo role-playing game. I've got a few extra dice lying around here. So you either are a good guy or an evil guy. It's Transformer based. Of course, that's our two sides. So we're going to go ahead and start off with character creation. I don't like to do that before I start, so that I can show off all aspects of it. So we have basically three sizes here. Now, if I translate this into modern Transformers, this guy here, I don't know how big he is. I feel like, it's either you get him blurry or you don't get him at all. This is what I believe is a core class nowadays. That's someone around here who's going to be your Voyager class, which is the next size up. Okay, allegedly I would have. But, and then you've got Titan class, who is the PFB of Transformers. So I'm going to go ahead and say that for the sake of size deciding, I'm going to look more at what the stats are The Voyager class is obviously it's your middle of the road. It's got average armor, average life. All of them are starting off with the same damage, so no real choices there. This guy, because he has his little friends here, if this is called a power core combiner, so it was basically a line of combiners. That was the most obvious thing I could possibly have said. They are all really cool and spring loaded, and they break easier than you could imagine. Putting this guy and one other together took way more trial and effort than you would think. But the point is that because he's got these extra guys, we can assume he has halfway decent armor. He also has, this is important for the game's storyline. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, there's the 5th one. He has 5 minicon ports. The full game gives us 10, so we'll see how that works out. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this guy's original name. Where did I write that down? Sounds like the sort of thing you might put into a picture folder. Yes, this is Smolder. Smolder is a good Voyager class. His armor is therefore 4, his life is therefore 4, and his damage is 1. Okay. So the story is pretty cut and dried. Here's the planet of our bots. There are 10 locations here that you can see on the map there. The story will have us go to each location. A die roll will give you the basic style of your adventure to get to that location. So there are 2 main situations. Number 1, you run across a bad guy and you're all alone. Number 2, you run across a bad guy and there you have friends. We're using a d20. We have the standard, if you roll a 1, you done screwed up. If you roll a 20, life is beautiful. Or to put it another way, 1 means that you just outright lose the combat and take damage. 20 means that you outright win the combat and, you don't actually even have to worry about seeing the enemy. So I've kind of given nicknames to each of the locations. There's part of me that wants to go on full Transformer mode, but I'm resisting that. The base rules are for just mechs, period. You're just a giant robot, stomp, stomp, stomp. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You fight to get the assistance of the upgrade bot. You can be good, in which case you're taking the upgrade bots to try and improve their lives, keep them away from the bad guys, help use their power to improve bot world. Or of course you can be evil, in which case you're terrorizing the poor things, you're doing this purely for the sake of evil, and you're a big poopy pants. I usually love the Decepticons, but I'm not going to lie. Right now, this day and age, I don't want anything but to be the good guy. So that's where we are right now. Nothing but niceness. So, like I said, I have actually 10 individual minicons. If I win a battle, then I get to keep the minicon, or obviously the upgrade bots. In which case, I go ahead and I adjust my stats on the spreadsheet that I've got to track all of my information. If I lose a battle, however, the leader of the evil bots gets it. And although each little upgrade bot on me gives me a little extra power, on the leader of the evil forces, it gives them a lot of power. So you go through the 10 regions, you see what happens, you have your little fight, and then as soon as all 10 regions have been cleared out and you have all the 10 upgrade bots accounted for, then you get to fight the big guy. And the stats of the big guy are much higher, much higher than the rank and file that we're going to see. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be location 1, this lovely city which I am referring to as Botopia Prime. Yes, of course it has to be Prime. I may not be completely generic, but I am generic enough. So let's go ahead and roll our 20-sided die. And if I compare that to my story, okay, so I've rolled the die, I looked away, and I completely forgot what I was actually rolling. So let's try that again. Okay, an 18. So I'm actually do it on this side because this is where the microphone is. So things started with a bunch of evil bot punks chasing after this tiny, scared little bot that none of us had seen before. He came running towards me, and I immediately called some friends and we decided to go ahead and protect this little guy. I mean, obviously we didn't know exactly what was going on, but that didn't really matter. Soon as they saw the three of us, 2 of the evil bots ran off, but third one was too intent on getting the little guy who was currently hiding behind my leg. So, combat in this situation, this is an Armada battle. So 11 and higher, to put it in more D&D-esque terms, if the travel table gives you a 11 or higher, then basically your attack roll is going to be with advantage. So we're going to go ahead and roll this d20 twice. Once That is a 4 twice. That is a 12. Okay, so my attack roll is 12. Let me go ahead and see what I am up against. I will go ahead and start off by naming this 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. This is going to be Short Pipe, the evil. What is that? That is a 7. A 7, that is going to be a evil Voyager class. So just like me, 4 and 4 and 1. My 12, by definition, beats a 4, being so much bigger than it. So right off the bat, Short Pipe has taken 1 point of damage. He rolls a 1, so I don't have any worries from him. I get another go. It's a 13 or a 2. I'm going to go with a 13, doing another damage to him, leaving him at 2 health points. He fires back at me. Oh no, that is an 11, which means that I have taken damage. So if you take any damage, you lose the battle and flee, and the enemy leader gets the upgrade bot. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this little space shuttle. So, as warned, we're going to go ahead and attach this one to the evil guy. So our evil guy has his first bot. Okay. So, I'll go ahead and make a note that the Botopia Prime was an Armada battle, but the upgrade bot was lost. So, with that unfortunately done, we are now aware of the existence of the upgrade bots. Since we don't know anything about how they got here, where they came from, where they go, where they came from, Cotton Eye, I'm sorry, that got stuck. The next place is the floating platform known as the Temple of Origin. It is believed that this is floating above the Seas of Rust, because this is where the creator originally brought bot life into existence. Let's go ahead and see if anything happens while we're on our way there. That is a 16. A 16 is another Armada battle, so my friends were kind enough to Amanda battle. Stay with me. Thinking of a name. So we have reached the temple where we have been met by it's got to be a smart name. It's got to be How about laser brain? It also potentially sounds like just an insult. But let's be honest here. We've got a wind charger, we've got a tailpipe. Not all of the Transformers have names that they wanted to be born with. So we overlook that particular problem. So my first roll is bad. It is a 1, but this is still an Armada battle, so I have friends with me. And my second roll is a 15. That is a 15. Okay. So I again decided to start fighting before I actually took a second to look at what I was fighting. This is not surprising. This is how most of my actual games go, so no surprises there. This is a 16. A 16 is going to be a Titan class bot. This is where we get into one of those beautiful no. Evil Titan. So a Titan bot is heavily armored, but let's go ahead and refer to it as once you get through the crunchy outside, the inner core is squishy as all out. Again, I'm trying not to use license names just in case. I've already had 2 TikTok lives that I got warning messages about because I was being uncreative, so we'll avoid that. Anyway, I did beat his armor class of 5. So 1 damage taken there. In response, he shoots me off of the floating pad. So that one has sent me back down to the ground very abruptly. So unfortunately, that means that I have 2 failures under my belt, and it's Cybertron. All cops are bots. ACAB. So we'll go ahead and give that to the enemy as well. Needless to say, I would really like to see a 1 on my next. No, I would like to see a 20. I would like to not see a 1 on my next roll. So let's see what that is. Having completely failed to get any information on these new creatures, I have no choice but to head back to lick my wounds. And we're heading over here into the back to Scrap City. So taking vehicles to get there. I end up separated from my friends. Hey, look at what I'm about to do. $15. That's another Titan. So let's go ahead and call this my brain is fighting for rust and screw as part of the name. My Doctor Who brain is wanting to call it just Rusty. So that's what we're going to do. I give in. I give in to the inner thoughts. Okay, so last two fights, I've had advantage. I've had friends with me. That advantage is gone. I'm only going to be able to roll one time. So, I did get a 12, so that's a point of damage there. I don't want them to fight back. A 7 is unfortunately higher than my armor value, so that is putting me into a bad place as well. So smarting from that, who do you want, Mr. Evil Guy? You want a chest plate. You want someone who can go ahead and hang out right on your chest. So there you go. Isn't he a striking figure? You can't tell. He's blurry as all out, probably. But if you could see him, clearly. So that returns me to the Seas of Rust underneath the floating temple. The hope is that maybe we can try again to get some information from up top side. That is a 2, which means that it is another solo battle. And the solo battle is against another Titan. Let's go ahead and on my little note-taking thing I've got going on over here, I'll go ahead and I am fighting. Oh, it's about time that I went ahead and did a Tronus. But I'm still wanting to use Screw. I'm going to be as unimaginative as I can be. I am going against the giant but vicious Screwdriver. Yes, the evil Titan Screwdriver. My 9 is better than his 5, so I do damage him. But his 5 is better than my 4, so that unfortunately chokes the life out of me. So Smolder's first attempt is a failure. Let's go ahead and rewind time a bit and try that again. Okay, so Smolder, good Voyager, blah blah blah. So the story began in the city of Botopia Prime, where this tiny little robot was being chased by a core class Um, we're going to call them Steel Drum. Yes, that is absolutely an evil name that will strike fear into the hearts of everyone. Small amount of hit points, high amount of life, very little damage, or the same amount of damage. So getting there, this is a 10, so this is going to be a solo battle again. So, as usual, I get the first roll. A 15 is much larger than their armor of 3, so do a little bit of extra damage there. They counterattack and hit me for a point of damage myself. Which means that, yes, gotta pull off the guys. Hey, chest bot. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and take the chest bot, and I'm going to put him right back on. Okay. So, just as before, lost the upgrade bot, which is sad. And we go ahead and we head to the Temple of Origin to see if we can learn anything about these tiny little guys. Roll of 5 means that the battle will be solo again. And this time I am up against another core class. I'm going to go ahead and simplify things for myself, so I don't have to think of a new name. And go ahead and say that Steel Drum decided that after he dropped off his boss's new toy, is going to go ahead and follow me. So, technically, he shouldn't be at 1 less damage. This would be a new fight, but like I said, I just don't want him to come up with a new name. Getting through this is hard. So I was able to hit him. And then on his counter, 12, he was able to hit me right back, forcing me into retreat. So we'll go ahead and give him back his little space shuttle friend. I can't remember where his little space shuttle friend. Oh, right. Oh. Right there. Okay. So that returned us to attempting to flee to Scrap City. Traveling to Scrap City, I wasn't able to run into any of my friends, but trying to beat on one of these tiny robots is a giant old bot, a giant bot. Don't know why I gave him an age there. A giant bot, Titan class, who I'm going to go ahead and call Thunderpipe. Because it's just no fun if they don't have really stupid names. I thought you said you were going to take this really seriously. Shut up. Don't give past me as much credit as you give current. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with my attack. This is, of course, a solo battle, so I need to get above a 5 by myself. Since that is a 3, that did not happen. Thunderpipe gets his chance in and sends me running. So far, not much better than last time. Okay, the way that this guy was posed and all the pictures of him I saw, you wouldn't be able to attach the Minicon plug, so I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe he was mistransformed in those pictures. I don't know. Okay. So, as before, I was unable to get support in Scrap City. I had to flee again, at which point I decided to try and my luck in the Seas of Rust beneath the temple. 7. That's going to put me in another solo battle. And yeah, just like last time, if it turns out to be a Titan, I'm absolutely going to have it be Thunderpipe again. Oh, the magical number. No. This is not when I wanted the 20. I wanted the 20 on the last roll. So yeah, it's Thunderpipe again. He's followed me. That's incredibly rude of him. What did I ever do to him? Oh yeah, shot him while he was trying to collect something for his boss. I guess that does actually make some sense why he might be cranky about things. Let's go ahead and see how my roll does. That is that really what I think it is? That is really what I think it is. Okay. It would be very nice if, since I got a 1, if Thunderpipe could also get a 1. That only seems fair. That is an 18. An 18 is substantially larger than a 1, so 37. Okay. And that also does end Smolder's second life. Second multiverse. Okay. So let's go ahead. Just going to double check to make sure that there's nothing. So I could add energy, which gives me transformation, but also complicates things a little more. No, I think what I'm going to do for this third attempt is just go ahead and upgrade Smolder to a Titan, give him that extra point of armor. Doesn't mean that he'll have less life, but so yeah, Smolder is starting off as a Titan, which gives him slightly more armor. I'm going to go ahead and stop being quite so let's go ahead and tell the same story over and over again. 10 locations, 1 through 10. Where, oh, where will Smolder start his day? 6. All right, so our first location is over here. This region that I have referred to as the melting pools, where the molten core of the planets is far too close to the surface, and this region is used as a torture chamber and a recycling center for the evil bots. So I believe that Smolder is probably here for scouting purposes. No, he's a Titan. He's not here for scout anything. That would be silly. So yeah, he's probably here to rescue someone who's been taken by the evil bots. So come back. That definitely fell off the table. I think we'll go ahead and... No, not again. Okay. So a 3 means that this is going to be a solo fight. And he is up against... Gravity. Yes, Gravity, which is keeping the other dice poorly up there. So, let's see, we're looking for a monstrous evil bot who's hanging out in the melting pools. I think we're going to go ahead and go with Gun. Not Gundam. That sounds less scary. That almost sounds noble. No, we're going with Gun. Gun is an evil Voyager class, which means it's got 4 armor, 4 life, and 1 damage. Yeah, let's just go ahead and take first strike. With a 17, that is 1 less point of life for Gun. Gun missed me. That's a happy day. Okay. So my second roll is an 18, which leaves Gun with 2 hit points. And his roll is a 1, leaving him with me undamaged by him. These are very nice things. A 10. So if he can just avoid hitting me, that would be lovely. That's a 14. He did not avoid. And I am forced to retreat. Okay. And since I didn't take them off at the start, let's go ahead and do that now. Yes, he starts off with one little friend. Okay. So my teeny tiny little friend, so Gun, having wounded me, chases me past the melting pools, and I end up here at the massive region known as the Maw. However, this time, I get some friends to come and save me. They must finally have heard my distress calls. And they are able. No, that's not what I do. They're able to chase Gun away. We're going to go ahead and call this guy Frazzle. Frazzle is the guardian of the evil bots' lair in the Maw. Although I think their main place is the deeps, this arena over here. But again, I have advantage. The first roll of 9 was not a bad thing. The second roll of 19 is also nice, but it is a 4 either way, or it is 1 damage either way. He, on the other hand, 9 is larger than my 5, so that has sent me running. So despite our best efforts, we were fended off from where the evil bots were looking for their next upgrade bot, in their own region. And we ended up regrouping outside the Prism Spires. Now, the Prism Spires are considered to be a holy place. It's where the non-aligned bots observe the war between the good and the evil, not caring that if the evil do defeat the good, then there's going to be no stopping them from crushing the spires. What kind of journey do we have? 9. So this is apparently my friends decided to cut and run since I was, or more likely, I just got there before them. 19, that is going to be a evil Titan class. Let me copy over my information. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get this fight underway. Only F1 roll, no friends this time. And that is definitely a hit. Leaving him at 2. In response, he hits me back, which unfortunately takes me out of the battle again. So let's go ahead. Now that we've had a couple of plays with the go ahead and add energy to the mix. So energy lets me go ahead and change from a bot mode to a battle mode. The battle mode basically lets me always get the what was I calling it before? It always lets me do the double roll, so that's nice. So the new Titan class, that gives me 9 energy, which means that I also have the option of just warping to a location if I feel like it. So let's go ahead. Never actually names that last item. I see on my notes that he is a complete unknown and it is a hilarious tragedy. Yeah, I liked randomizing where I went, so we'll go ahead and do that again. So Smolder's story this time begins at Scrap City. This is probably pretty much the same as before, where we had a lot of hooligans who were beating on some poor bots. I'm going to say I start off in battle mode. Anything interesting about how I'm getting here? Oh, lovely. The event is a bypass upgrade bot. So we're going to roll the 20-sided die and see who we get. A 20. So 20 is... I forgot to put down my life. Life is 3. The reason why this is important is because the first one I have is drone bots. Drone bots. Well, this airplane kind of looked like a drone. So, the drone bot is a compact hovering companion that circles my bot and projects a energy shield that makes it easier for me to survive longer. So, since he is giving me an energy shield and he's hovering, let's go ahead and stick him on top here. So there's my minicon, my upgrade bot. Upgrade bots. It's not just for the bad guy anymore. The ability to stand. It's just not. Okay. So yeah. So a bot name. This is Drone Bot, and he is an upgrade bot. And he is giving me +1 life. So my guy has 1 extra hit points. Okay, so upgrade bot 1. So, just my being there was enough to scare off the bullies who were trying to mess with the little drone bot. Can't go to Scrap City again. That would be silly. Unfortunately, after getting my new friends, I get a message over the comm saying that they need me back at the melting pools. I'm going to say it's just like before. Someone on my side needed help. But I don't even make it there. Having rolled a 1. So we'll go ahead and give the evil guy his little friend back. Okay. So yeah, that unfortunately dings me 1 life. 43 is not being dinged. That's silly. So having basically ended up in the melting pools instead of going to the melting pools, I head back to Botopia Prime. This time I'm going to go ahead and use an energy so that I can be in travel mode, which means that I can go ahead and roll with advantage. So, I can do a solo fight, or I can do an Armada fight, and I am going to choose the Armada fight. Botopia Prime is where I am headed. So, when I am on my way there, I run across a fellow Titan. Let's go ahead and call this Oil Pit, one of the nastiest of the evil Titans. So it doesn't matter that I'm still in travel mode because I can fight with help. So I try to 3 and a 4. Neither of those were successful. Wanna bet the rolls are not low this time? That's a 19. So even with help, I unfortunately was forced to leave Botopia Prime behind, along with the lost upgrade bots. 8. So it makes sense. After all this, that I go ahead and head to the Echoing Deserts to try and learn more about drone bots. And my friends come with me in the hopes that they will be able to learn more about them as well. We find ourselves against a little guy. So we've got Sizzle, we've got Fizzle, something electrical. Zappy. Just Zappy. 3, 5, 1, and 3. Okay. So it's the 3 of us against the 1 of Zappy. So I can choose between a 15 or a 7, both of which are well above Zappy's 3 armor. But Zappy comes back with a 10, which causes us to have to head on out. That is another lost upgrade bot. And we are, nope, we've already done the melting pools. The deeps. So that is this arena looking thing, which, yeah, it's a good location. It's right off the what did I call it? The Echoing Deserts. So yeah, we can go ahead and keep going with my friends. And we're going up against another Titan. Oil Pit didn't actually take any damage, so I think he's going to be the one who's waiting for us. We get our 2 fights. That first one was enough to hit him 1 time. And unfortunately, he was able to pierce through, leaving me no longer functional. So I think I probably would recommend buffing the player character. I think that we're having everyone evenly matched is problematic with the low starting armors. I don't know if just a +1 across the board would be good. I also think that probably increasing the amount that we get from the upgrades wouldn't be a bad idea. The boss fight is going to be +3s all along the if they have 1 upgrade bot, it's 1 1 1 +1 armor +1 life +1 damage. So at least giving us the +2 might be a good idea. I'll put my thoughts together and drop Ian a line. Now we do have rules here for basically you start off as an armada, so you roll multiple characters, and I definitely love that idea. It's a great option for if you want to do something other than this could be a GM-less game using that as an option. So definitely a good idea there. But yeah, I think that makes for an exciting evening, and I think that's a good place to call it, and I can make myself some ice cream. So I am sharing too much on that city. Anyway, this has been Thursday night. This has been solo role-playing games with ScreamingWyvern. And as always, remember to be one of the good ones, because there's way too many of the bad. I will see you next week.